So we have our 3x plus 2y is equal to 42. Now to take 2y, the first thing, don't rush with the 3x because it's x that we want to make the subject of the formula, right? So let's concentrate on 2y. Let's take 2y to the other side of the equation. Now how do we do that? Just subtract 2y from both sides of the equation. If you subtract 2y from this side of the equation, if you subtract 2y from this side of the equation, 2y will disappear. Now, but then you're going to have minus 2y here. Why? Because I told you before that there's a golden rule in mathematics which says whatever you do to this side of the equation, you must do to this side of the equation. So if I'm subtracting 2y on this part, I'm going to subtract 2y from this part. So right now, I'm now going to be having my 3x minus my 3x plus 2y minus 2y is equal to 42 minus 2y. My minus 2y here will disappear. All right? That is another way of solving it. Yes, this is another way of solving it, whereby you are now having your 3x plus your 2y minus your 2y on this side is equal to your 42 minus 2y on the other side. Why? Because you want to eliminate 2y first. You need to eliminate 2y first so that you will reduce all of those numbers that are with your unknown at this side of what the equation. You have to make sure all those things leave so that you are having x left. That is what subject of the formula actually means. So now if you do that, your 2y minus 2y is going to cancel out. You're now left with 3x here. But here, your 2y is now appearing. That's why you're now having 42 minus 2y. That is why you see your teacher in school will tell you, take that number to the other side. The sign will now change. The sign must change because you have to what? Terminate a particular number on one path. And in order for you to terminate it, you have to use the reverse sign of that number. That is why when you are taking a particular item to the other side of the equation, the sign must change. The sign must change because plus a number minus that number is 0. Plus a number minus that number is 0. Minus 2 plus 2 is 0. Minus 3 plus 3 is 0. Plus 3 minus 3 is 0. So you have to try as much as possible to note that that is the reason why when you take a number to the other side of the equation, the sign has to change. So those are the two basic ways by which you can actually do this. It's either you use a particular basic operation on both sides of the equation, which in this case can be subtraction and addition, or you try as much as possible to just take a particular item, noting the sign, taking it to the other part of the equation and changing the sign, which in this case now is 2y. 2y has changed the sign, so we're now having 3x is equal to 42 minus 2y. Okay, so with that now, go to the next level. 3x is equal to 42 minus 2y. At this point, you have 3x on this part of your equation. Now, 3x, 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 3 is the coefficient. 3 is the coefficient. 3 is the coefficient. What is the coefficient? The number that is staying or standing with your unknown is the coefficient in any case for any linear equation. The number that is the coefficient should be used to what? Divide both sides of the equation. Now, why are you doing that? Because it is the number that is left with the unknown. So in this case, it's 3. 3 is what? The number that you actually need to use to divide both sides of the equation. In this case now, you have 3x on one side and you have 42 minus 2y on the other side. So divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient, which is 3. You're now going to be having your x is equal to 42 minus 2y over 3. So your x is now what? 42 minus 2y over 3. This is the substitution equation which we are going to use eventually. This equation now, x is equal to 42 minus 2y over 3. X is equal to 42 minus 2y over 3 will now be the equation that we are going to note as the substitution equation, which we are going to use to find x eventually, because we are equating x to 42 minus 2y over 3. 42 minus 2y over 3 is now x. Now, x is now equal to 42 minus 2y over 3. This is now what you're going to use to substitute as x in equation 2, which you're going to see in a short while. All right, so now our x is no longer going to be x in equation 2. Our x will now be what? 42 minus 2y over 3, like a football match. When Messi leaves the field and Ronaldo comes on, you see, Ronaldo has now substituted Messi. So now x will not appear anymore. Instead, 42 minus y over 3 will appear. 42 minus y over 3 will now be the Ronaldo on the field, while x, which is the Messi, will now be on the bench. Simple! That is now the substitution equation, which we are going to get back to. But let's go straight now to the second equation.